everybody, it is Alex from Heavy New York. We are back at the altar, and today we are here with Matt and Chrystian of the almighty Viserion. Thank you both so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, it's so great to finally make this happen. It's been a long time coming. Fair to say you've all had a busy year the past couple of years, because we got the awesome Reborn in Darkness single that came out in 2022, and then we got this awesome split with our friends in Voivod, which is the Iron Age of Kali Yuga. Fantastic. What else is in store for Viserion? I usually say that for the last question, but we'll do it first.
So we're working on new music right now. We're writing. We're getting some scratch recordings done, and just working on a new album for you guys.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, pretty much every rehearsal we try to write something new. So it's been quite an adventure this year. So right now we're gonna definitely concentrate on that new record, trying to bring through.
Is that single you put out, Reborn in Darkness, maybe a good representation of what this whole album is going to sound like, or is that just one little piece of the puzzle?
I think it was more of the revelation of us joining forces. It was more of the coming out party, sort of say, of this iteration of Viserion. So I think the next album is going to have a few pleasant surprises. I think it's going to show the growth in the band a little bit more than previous releases.
Definitely.
We got that gentle love ballad coming on there.
Oh, definitely, actually. Yeah. We're working on something, but
I wouldn't say it's a love ballad.
Yeah, no, you know.
We have a song that sounds very unique. Doesn't sound like anything we've written before.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what that is.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have that Natural Selection full-length album, which was an absolutely kick-ass record. So are you planning to distance yourself completely from that first offering, or are you planning to maybe sort of continue in a similar vein with its brutality?
No, we're definitely not planning on ditching the essence of what Natural Selection was. I think that it's just with the new direction the band is taking, we're kind of trying to find a balance. So we still have some elements of Natural Selection, but we add our own, like Chrystian said, our growth as musicians and as a band. But we definitely want to have some parts that have the similar of a brutality and a rawness that a Natural Selection had.
Does it always begin with a vision, or is your songwriting process more of an improvisational approach?
It's actually more of an at this point it's more of improvisational. Ben will come up with something, Tata will come up with something, I will come up with something, even Matt will come up with something. He'll write a drum part that he'll be practicing, and we'll hear it. I got a riff for that, and honestly, we'll write a song through that. In the last couple of rehearsals, that's what's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of work that we have really to mesh together a little bit, but it's pretty much spontaneous, honestly, with us, and that's kind of what's great about this band.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think going back to the last question, we're gonna have elements of the old with the new, because the new additions in the band with me and Tasso in it, and it's a collaborative effort when we're writing. So that's a unique aspect about this band. It's straightforward ahead with any good ideas that if we like it, we'll just work around it.
As somebody who is very thankful to be friends with all four of you guys, and I've gotten to know a lot of your artistic visions, if you will. With this new album, would I be able to tell, okay, this song started off as a Chrystian song, this song started off as a Tasso song, this song started off as a song?
I don't know if you'd be able to, because nobody really approaches with this is a full song written. It'll be 2-3 really good riffs, and then we kind of work together. Even me, we'll have sessions where I'm not even at the drum set for an hour. I'm just sitting there talking with the guys how maybe we could structure this part into this, or maybe they need an interlude here or transition riff here or something. And so it's more of a creative process than it has been in the past. But Ben has his own style, Chris has his own style, Tasso has his own style. So you might hear parts and you might be like, that was probably Ben, or that was probably Chris, but I don't think it will be as obvious as people think. Because I think we're working together better than we have in the past.
Yeah, it just meshes really well. Because we'll work on something and all of our ideas will end up in the song. So then when you put it all together, it just becomes a Viserion song, to be honest.
You ever worried that a Viserion song can sound too much like a Viserion song?
That's a good question.
Actually, you kind of want that in the black metal scene, honestly. You kind of want to distinguish yourself a little bit, because some bands in the black metal scene to try to emulate, especially the older bands and stuff like that. I think we bring that brutality of the old, but we're
Right.
bringing a little bit of the modern black metal sound
Right.
with it, you know. So that if it sounds too much like a Viserion song, yeah. Do we want to be a formulaic, like a form? We have a formula. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be unexpected. I want this. Oh, you think we're going left side? We're going right type of stuff. You know, that's what I want in our music. If it sounds like, if you think it sounds like Viserion, good, because every time that song comes on a playlist or whatever comes on, it's like, oh, that's Viserion. I didn't even need to look at my phone or who it is. So
We have had moments though where we were like, how are we gonna get from riff A to riff B? And we're like, oh, maybe we'll do that. And it's like, we've already done that once. We've already done that, or we don't want to do that 3 times in a row. Like, you know what I mean? So
we
we
have
definitely are aware of. We don't want to become, like you said, formulaic, or be like, oh well, every time they do something, it's a drum fill, or it kick, or everything stops and then it builds in or something. We want to make sure that we're not falling into any
we want every song to
like
be
where we
different.
sound like you can see what's coming.
Well, it's funny you mentioned black metal too, because I've always heard people call it, just as many people call it death metal at the same time, because I've seen elements of the deicides and the obituaries and even modern bands like Gatecreeper or Sanguisugabog and your sound. So, I mean, can you really label Viserion as just a strict black metal band?
We can, but I think it comes from our previous roles and previous bands and experiences. I think we still have that death metal-y sound in us, because I think that's what distinguishes us from, just plain old black metal, I guess, because we do have that death metal element, that death metal brutality, those death metal growls and vocals.
The 7-string also makes things sound a lot heavier.
A lot heavier.
Yeah.
So that makes a big difference too.
You could also sound like Korn with that 7-string if you want.
Yeah. No.
Oh, come on, one death metal Korn cover.
Death metal Korn.
Death metal Korn cover.
Hey man, new metal's coming back, man. Maybe that'll take us to the top.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll play MSG that way, And by MSG I mean the Chinese food restaurant.
If we get free food, I'll do it.
Hell yeah, man.
Why not?
Hey, it's that's a step up from drink tickets.
Yeah, for real.
As a
Food
metal
tickets.
fan, I'd rather get fed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can sell a bunch of sell a bunch of cans back and I get like $1 back for like cheap beer, so that's what I'll do.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Chinese food, man, fill you up for weeks.
It's like during the pandemic, somebody says everybody gets a stimulus check except for local bands. They get 2 free drink tickets.
Oh my god.
Oh,
It's
man.
like 2 free drinks. Like, how many in your band? Oh, 7 members. Okay, here's 2 drink tickets for each one of you. You guys can share.
You can't have anything more than $5.
and that one only pays for seltzer.
Yeah.
Yep, a small seltzer. But speaking of the scene though, because with a death metal, it seems like you're able to cross over and play with black metal bands and death metal bands. You just did a show with Solemn Vision as well as the Finnemore reunion, which definitely I wouldn't call either of those bands really you call Solemn Vision more melodic death metal. You call Finnemore to be more like doom, if you will.
Yeah.
And then I've seen you play with again bands that are more tech death, bands that are more black metal as well. So has it really been that much of a different experience?
Well, when we played we did play an out-of-state show, which was the show with oh my god, the one at Black Forge, which was
that's with Withered and
Satan,
yeah.
and that was a show that was definitely more of a black metal show than I think we've played, and I mean,
Shout out to Pittsburgh.
yes,
Great
yeah,
black metal crowd.
yeah, they had a great crowd, and I would love to sit here and be like, oh, the crowd was so different, it was too cult. No, it wasn't. It was metalheads being metalheads,
Yeah.
nice. They appreciate the music. They're very respectful to you. They're very respectful. They come by, they look at the merch, they buy the merch. It was so. I think if you had to put us in a box, black metal is the closest genre that Viserion is. But I don't want us to be in a box, and I wouldn't say that we're only black metal. We're a black metal band with elements of other types of extreme metal.
Yeah, and it's still, black metal is so diverse now too. Okay, let's think of an OG black metal band, Emperor, right?
Mhm.
They have symphonic elements in their sound.
Yeah, definitely.
But like Mayhem didn't, and they started, from a similar scene.
Right.
Satyricon had things about them that made them different. You had Immortal that made them very different. Like there was always, it seemed like black metal never had a specific formula. You could differentiate a Mayhem from an Emperor to a Satyricon to a Dark Throne every day.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the black metal family tree of the heavy metal family tree of all the branches, it has its own little family. Like you could turn around and find so many different forms of black metal. And what black metal is, what's really good about black metal too is it still tries to stay as low to the underground as humanly fucking possible. Mm-hmm. It's like they like to be in dirt, so they stay in dirt, I guess. But it's always festers in the underground. When certain genres like thrash come and go and ebb and flows, I feel like from the second wave of black metal till today, it's been a consistent flow. You're never gonna see black metal really in the mainstream. Like you saw D-Mu and those bands like
Cradle of Filth is probably the most mainstream. In
but again, D-Mu is a perfect example. Those guys were everywhere growing up when Hellboy came out with that shit. Mm-hmm. So they were all there. That's as mainstream as you could get, But in the cosmos of things, Cradle of Filth is that perfect example, So you have that peak of black metal that finds its way to the underground, and all these other bands just spruces up from the fucking corpse, all of a sudden like fucking mushrooms.
But it seems like black metal is bigger than it's ever been lately. I mean, you look at, and I'm gonna get shit, but I really don't care anymore. But look how Death Heaven sells out places. Behemoth playing arenas. You see, Mayhem just played here. It was a co-headline with Cannibal Corpse, and they destroyed the place.
That was amazing. Yeah,
they
were phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You see a lot of these nostalgia death metal tours happening. Yeah. Cannibal Corpse still sells out places, but when you see the Cavaleras, play Arise and Beneath the Remains in its entirety and stuff, it seems like it's a genre that's classic now and only getting bigger.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
100%.
It's definitely trending in that direction.
Yeah.
But I just feel that it's just such a elitist, niche genre of music that
it's a required taste.
It's a required taste. I'm never gonna. Yeah, like sometimes you do see the references of black metal in the mainstream. See a bunch of movies out right now with kids in corpse paint or whatever the case may be, and all that stuff. Commercials. I remember, Chick-fil-A, I think it was, with the black metal guy, Spoo Spicy and stuff like that. It's like, what the fuck, It's like, we are a cartoon now, and I feel that clashes with the underground a lot when it comes to black metal, because you have such true purists, and then you have people who like it but like more of the accessible, more atmospheric. I think atmospheric black metal is where the genre right now is at. I think more that's the more accessible side of black metal, or depressive black metal. I think that's
right.
What
Life Lover. That's my favorite.
Life Lover.
But I will say one thing I've noticed is with a lot of black metal fans who are like maybe around my age but younger, their gateway into the genre, they've all have one gateway drug in common, and that's they started off emo. They loved, they loved the Used, My Chem, and Paramore and all that shit growing up. Like they went from eyeliner to corpse paint. Like, that was the
100%. Honestly, I see that a lot within the scene period. It's like I appreciate the influx of women in metal, but me growing up, I've never seen women in metal when it comes to like in the crowd type of stuff. I go to a show, it's probably gonna be 99.9% dudes with one girlfriend running around, and that's it, right? Now I'm super happy to see women in metal, participating in metal, being in the scene and stuff like that. But great observation, because I've always had that observation. I always said the trajectory from that was all those scene girls and emo girls just transitioning into the heavier stuff. Some of them went poppy or whatever the case would be. The other went like, all right, I'm corpse paint the fuck out, and I appreciate that, honestly.
Absolutely. It's black metal and emo, the same roots, just a bunch of angry suburban kids who had everything, who wanted to.
100% right.
Both originated in similar atmospheres. That's no coincidence.
Both don't like being alive very much either. Just laying in the hand, that just fucking sucks. I have to wake up again? Seriously?
Exactly. Warped Tour meets Beyond the Gates Fest, just like Ozfest meets not. We gotta make that happen.
Can you imagine?
Oh my god.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Let's make that happen. Warped Tour meets Beyond Kid, My Chemical Romance, and Mayhem.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that'd be great. I'll love to see that. You
Oh
know?
my god, that would be incredible. Let's make that happen.
My Black Parade right after Freezing Moon, man.
Combine them together. Combine them together.
Attila will go on stage with them, yeah. Why not?
I would love to listen to a black metal mashup of My Chemical Romance by Black.
It's probably on YouTube.
It's probably
Someone's
is,
probably
man.
done it.
We're
Yeah.
going on YouTube as soon as
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
over.
Someone probably used AI to make that happen already.
Oh man.
But you led me perfectly into the final question, actually, which is, New York City, the home of so many great, fucking amazing bands, with its own death metal legacy. You name Immortal Suffering, you name Suffocation, Malignancy, Incantation, Immolation. Did I say Suffocation? I can't remember. But
Yes, you did.
Mortician, Profanatica. So many fantastic bands in the death metal and black metal genre. Being a city kid, though, I hear a lot of times, like, I heard more stories of suburban kids getting into metal, more so than people who grew up in the city, but I find it hard to believe now with how many New York City metalheads I've been around. But how was the metal scene sort of cutting your teeth, and what was your sort of like exposure to it, being in the urban world?
I grew up in the Bronx, so it's kind of a different experience. It's like the Sahara Desert for metalheads. I always believe, because like you always get these pockets of metalheads, either they're super shy, don't want to hang out, or whatever the case may be. I never really ventured up to the Brooklyn area or Queens or whatever the case may be, but Manhattan never really had that type of scene. They had some clubs, but CBGBs, all those clubs went away. Knitting Factory moved away and all that stuff. So for me, I never really had a scene until I found the Brooklyn metal scene or whatever the case may be. And now I cannot get away from it, and I love it. And it's just such a great experience that metalheads here are prominent, and there is a scene that I felt was never here before. I think the metal scene were people coming in from Long Island, Westchester, coming to see shows here, but there was never a community, and I feel the community is here. Thank you for being part of that community, by the way, brother.
It's an honor. It's an honor.
I think when I was younger, like I was in my first band, I was 17, and we used to play in Queens a lot, in Blackthorn, which is unfortunately no longer there. And I remember thinking, I was like, this many people like this type of music that aren't me. I was an idiot. I was 17 years old. I thought the world revolved around me. But I do definitely have to say that I feel like the scene in the last 5 years has completely blown up. Like, especially with all the Brooklyn venues, like you said. Because I remember, like, right before COVID, I was like, this is crazy. Like, I don't remember this many people being at every show, at like local shows, not like Cannibal Corpse. Like, like I would go see local bands and there's like 50, 60 people there. I was like, when the fuck did this happen?
Yeah.
And then COVID shut everything down, and then as soon as it was lifted, everybody came back. Like, that's how
More
strong
people
this
came
scene
back.
was. Yeah, and
Yeah.
exactly. It
I
actually got stronger
I
from
thought
it.
COVID was going to kill the scene.
Yeah.
I remember-
Yeah, because everyone left New York.
Yeah.
Except the metalheads.
Yeah. And I
They're
remember-
still here.
I remember this too. Like, I remember pre-COVID, there would be a couple of dead Saturday nights at like a Lucky 13 or a Vitus or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a couple Friday or Saturday nights where, it's not fucking packed. Can't go to Duff's, Lucky 13, any metal or rock bar throughout the city. Now, every night it is jam fucking
Yeah.
packed.
Even shows like coming to New York, every band is coming to the show every other fucking
Cannibal
weekend.
Corpse sold out Brooklyn Steel. That's 3,500
Yeah.
cap.
Yeah.
They oversold it.
Yeah.
They oversold, bro. Like everywhere you go, shit, I had to wait on this big ass line that fucking revolved around the block 3 fucking times just to go see. I forgot what band. Emperor fucking came and sold out fucking
King's Theater.
King's
Yeah.
Theater. King's Theater is an amazing theater. It's like, who would have thought that I was gonna see Emperor at King's fucking Theater, man? It's like they rebuilt that shit for snobby kids, not fucking for Emperor.
I saw Entheos and Archspire in 2022, and I saw them again in 2023. There was at least twice as many people there.
Yep.
In a year. That's how much it blew up. I was like, what the fuck's going on? I was like, I don't have a good view anymore. I was like,
Yeah.
like, I was in the front, and then I was like,
Dude,
oh, they're over there.
Yep.
That's how crazy it is. But I love it. I
It feels the
I'm
hard
glad
way,
that it's-
and too, like
getting
the
to this
local
point.
scene too, like like bands like Final Siege, like Solemn Vision, and those bands are just coming up, and you just see Tombstoner.
Yeah.
You see the influx of these great bands that are local fucking bands that are playing fucking shows, out of state shows, bringing the New York. I feel like the New York sound is coming. Melodic death metal is huge in this fucking city.
Yeah.
Huge in this city. Thrash metal, death metal. Those are the genres that are predominantly. And there's gonna be a band that's gonna come out the Brooklyn scene. It's very local soon. I have a feeling. Even before the pandemic, I had that feeling that everything was gonna hit in like New York pretty soon when it came to metal.
Yep, it's only getting more and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
And it
Venues have shut down, but I'm hearing of a new venue every fucking week now. Like,
Yeah.
I've never heard of that place. It seems like there's a new venue in Queens like every day. Like I get invited to a show and I'm like, what is that place?
Yeah, Queens is blowing up. Like where I live, Sunnyside. Talk about metalheads, man. I feel like Sunnyside needs a fucking venue.
Yeah.
Every time I turn the corner, it's like, oh, this fucking motherfucker's wearing a fucking Testament shirt from 19. Oh, he's not a hipster. Perfect. You know?
All the metal ironic, all the metalheads go to a place called Sunnyside.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
They're hiding in plain sight. They're like, they'll never find us here.
Exactly. The Brooklyn got too expensive. That's what's like, no more Dumble for us, man.
So, before we go, I want to thank you both so much for your time. Just anything else with Viserion you'd like to promote? Like when we can be expecting a new album? I know you got the show this Friday. What else can we be expecting?
Yeah, we're playing this Friday at El Bunker del Diablo. We go on at 8:15.
Be there at 8.
Yeah, get there at 8.
So it's
But
small
we don't
venue.
have any official announcement about new music coming out, but we are working on it and we're working hard. So hopefully we want to get it out as badly as any band does, but we know not to rush things. We'd rather have it sound great and come out a little later than we would maybe like it to, but we're putting in the work, you know. We definitely are, and I'm really excited for it for our fans to hear it, because I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, man, we got big plans, man. We just wanna focus on the music, because the music is what's gonna, you know, not pay the bills, but, you know, at least make us happy for a minute.
Yeah.
Of course.
So we just want to make the best album that we can. You know, pick the best songs. It's gonna be a couple of releases. I'm not gonna lie. So we do got plans for multiple releases. Something to dangle in front of people and expect the new stuff to really drop. So it's gonna be good.
Death metal edging. I love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Later, bud.
Thank you. Everybody, we are here with Viserion. New stuff coming very soon. Everybody, thank you so much.
Cheers,
Thank
folks.
you.